We are not experts. Do not take advice from us. We are just people talking on the internet. We are not experts.
Hey, yeah, Apple.
And welcome to Say Less, Stay More. The trio that you never knew you needed. Go and get your little duffel bag, boy. And today, we got it all. Misogyny, gangster shit. Will you survive the let out? We gonna talk about if these wives out here should take their husbands' last names. We got Hall of Fame reaction. We got topics, of course, that one came from the Joe Budden podcast.
Joe Budden podcast.
What is red pill and are we it? That and much more. I got the gang with me. Even Javian. You know what I'm saying? We got the one and only El Residente. And we got Javian's dad. That's what I'm calling him this week, but I don't know exactly what he's going by today.
You already know what it is, man. It's your boy, Jack Daddy, a.k.a. Ringo Mandingo, a.k.a. Radical Jack, DJ Radical Jack, Jack Supreme, Jack Kai. Yeah.
All right. All right, let's get right to it.
Hi.
So what's the word, fellas? What's going on?
Hi.
Chilling, bro. I actually got up this morning and created a DJ set. So, that took a lot of time. So, there goes that. Some people might have been late to potting, but I'm glad it wasn't me.
Word.
Yes, so Jack definitely was the person that was late this morning, but that's okay. So we are recording on a Saturday morning. Actually, today's my first night. I got to sleep in my own bed since Monday night, so glad to be back home. Worked in Atlanta all week, getting the work done, making sure that these issues that need to be fought for are being fought for. So I'm excited to continue to do great work. Missed my wife and kids. Shout out to Toya. Shout out to RJ, Isis, Lord, Tasha, Vari, Ariana. And I got to spend my daughter. I got to go to dinner with my daughter in Atlanta. So that was really great. I really enjoyed spending time with her. But I'm trying to, yay, my daughter. She'll be 24 next week. And so I was up there, so I got to hang out with her and her boyfriend Marcus. Wow, for her birthday. So that was dope. So ready to pod, man. What about you, 25?
So it's kids week. My little man Desmond, he had his little band tryout today, so he's gonna be a saxophone player apparently. And then of course, in about 10 days or so, my oldest boy is gonna be taking his driver's test. You know what I'm saying? Had his track meet the other day, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't happy with his time, so he back in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I'm just trying to survive the let out, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, bro.
I feel you.
All right, so let's get into this. So, guys, what classifies as a red pill podcast and why is it us? Thank you for this, Shallon.
Yeah, Shallon. So I just want to give a little background on where this topic sort of came from. So, we're a new podcast. We're on episode 18. We all grown up now. Actually, do you know that the vast majority of podcasts never make it past episode 8? Fun fact. We're at episode 18, so we're ahead of the game. But in my fervor to get more people to watch, I talked to my friends about the podcast and let them know, hey, you need to check us out. And my coworker Shallon, I got her to listen. She's like, is it going to be a red pill podcast? I'm like, we're not a red pill podcast. But now the running joke is that, she tuned in and she thinks that we're, at least she says jokingly that we're a red pill podcast, which I don't believe we are. So it led to a conversation between the three of us about, one, what is a red pill podcast? Two, is it a good or a bad thing? And three, are we a red pill podcast? In which me and Jack ended up arguing for half the day, and so we decided to bring it here to the pod.
I don't like to call our disagreements arguments.
No, we argued.
That's toxic masculinity. So
Okay,
you know,
Kit Wilson.
that is toxic. Sir.
Okay.
I am a person who, you know, fights the patriarchy, and I don't like that nasty way that men were raised destroy me.
Shit.
So
Jack out here
now.
See, you see this, y'all? Jack is out here cosplaying.
Oh, we're lying on the pod now. Oh, okay, cool. All right, but so let's start there though. Let's start at what is a red. So let's start with what, because we can't start with what our thoughts are without looking it up first.
So we can start with
Jack, you start with yours. Yeah.
What originally what it was, the red pill was a term that came from the Matrix, and it was about Neo
waking
taking
up.
he woke up. So the red pill actually was about you being based in logic and facts and not feelings. And then, like most things, just like woke is the best way to like do a whole comparison.
So like the redefinition of a word that started out one way and became another thing.
So woke at first, woke meant that we was up and we knew what was going on, and as Black people, we was like, hey, look, you see that? Y'all know what it is, okay? And then it became this thing where it's like PC culture now. It just got hijacked. So, now it's like, I don't even like to say that. We used to be like, stay woke, and we loved it. And then it was just like, white people found out, and it was like, we're woke too. Like, but yeah, the red pill
goes bad. But go ahead.
So, right here it says the term red pill comes from the Matrix, where taking the red pill means waking up to reality instead of living in the comfortable illusion, right? Online, the red pill generally refers to content that claims to reveal uncomfortable truths about dating and attraction, gender dynamics, power, status, social hierarchy, masculinity, and male self-interest. At its core, it says society lies to men about how the world actually works, especially with women, and this is the truth. But red pill is not one unified belief system. It ranges from mild realism to extreme cynicism. So that is why me and Rez ended up arguing, because I say we are red pill and he says we aren't, but he says we aren't because I think that he's on the end where, like, his friend, how she was like, oh, you guys are red pill. And it's like, we're not the guys who are on here telling women to shut up and make us sandwiches.
So let me ask, so before we even get to the next part, so based on your definition, what are the best red pill podcasts out there?
MTR, he's a really good one.
Who is MTR? You have to say names.
Is mediocre tutorials and reviews. Like, that's his actual name, but he just goes by MTR because he's YouTube page, but now he goes by MTR. So you have MTR, he's a really good one. He's not like, he doesn't hate women and all that kind of stuff, versus the No Fugazi podcast with I don't even know his name, but he's the dude who's always like, I'm 6'4", and because I'm 6'4", I'm above everybody else. I'm a better man, Honestly, Kevin Samuels is a good red pill podcast. The only problem with Kevin Samuels is nobody listened to his pod, so everybody just saw the meanest clips and they assumed that that's what he did the whole time. But he actually wasn't a bad person at all. He was really realistic. And then, like, towards the end, he's doing the whole "you're built like a full bag" type thing for clicks, but that's not who he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, I just learned what red pill was after Shaolin said it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody in my life talks like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's my age or whatever it might be, but we don't talk like that. We say what we mean. If I want to say you're a misogynist or you're a piece of shit, I say that. I don't say you're red pill or any of that stuff.
Right.
So let's start there. After learning what I think I know about red pill now, I think of people like Myron Gaines, Fresh and Fit. You know what I'm saying? I think of the Whatever podcast that keeps showing up in my Facebook for some reason. And every time I see these videos, it's just dudes that look like they've never had women before or act like they've never had women before. They hate women because they haven't had women. And then they say things like, oh, so if I take you out on a date, you expect me to pay, and you're out here banging all these guys while you're on a date with me. And so it just comes as like, as they would say nowadays, slut shaming. It would come across as men are just infinitely better than women, and women should know their role and shut their mouths.
Come on, Dwayne.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I took from Red Pill. And Shaolin, you live in fantasies. I reject your deposit.
Love that. Love that.
Word to Nas.
Oh, Rez, get an opening statement.
No, so I think. What you said? That was Hov?
No, that was Tupac.
Oh, that was Tupac. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But was he talking about Nas?
Yes.
Okay, I knew it had something to do with Nas. All right, but yeah, so 2-5 and Jack, I think Jack, from the origin of what a red pill pod would be, I could definitely understand that. It's just what it's morphed into that doesn't match with the original reality of it. And that's where we differ in terms of, so if you wanted to say like what the original idea of what a red, like, okay, we're having real discussions about real things. Okay, cool. That's one part of it. But that there is an element of what is perceived to be, even in the definitions that you gave, those guys are mostly known. I don't know MTR, so I can't speak on MTR. But the other ones are definitely known for tearing women down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a core essential part of it. So what I actually did when I was doing, like, when I was trying to figure out, because the conversation, like, sometimes we have conversations and I really, like, I'm thinking about it long after we finish. And I'm like, there's more to this, which we'll probably talk a little bit about the Kendrick J. Cole conversation we had and, like, how that sort of went. It was sort of the same way for me. It's like, well, how much truth is it to what they're saying, and what are my blind spots? So for those who don't know, when we decided to do this podcast, we did what most people do, in 2026. We went to our AI, right? And I went to ChatGPT and I explained who we were. I explained what our backgrounds were. I explained what we wanted to talk about. And we literally built out the format of this podcast through ChatGPT. It gave us sort of the boundaries in which, the container in which the Say Less Say More podcast exists. After that time, I actually would go into, because we use, I'm giving away all the game, but we use Vizard to make our clips, right? So it literally gives me transcripts from what happened, and I put that into ChatGPT to come up with captions to go with our social media posts. So ChatGPT has so much data from our podcast, from what we actually talk about, what we actually do. And so I wanted to know from our words, would we qualify for what would be considered a red pill podcast? And I just want to read y'all a little bit of what it came out, right? So it said, let me start from the top. It says red pill pods typically center gender wars, push rigid ideas about masculinity, dominance, and submission, lean heavy into dating, market value, hierarchy, alpha beta talk, and often drift into resentment, especially towards women, and talk at culture instead of with it. I think based on that definition, would we agree on that definition, first of all? Or would we push back on that definition?
I guess so.
From what I think I know, I agree.
Yeah.
From what I know about red pill pods, that's what I assume them to be.
Yeah.
Gender wars, I'm the masculine man. I'm the alpha.
Especially the alpha beta part, yeah.
Because it's still gender dynamics. So yeah, gender wars, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, different words.
Or even when it comes to culture, it's culture's wrong because of this. We have conversations about how we exist in culture, not saying that something's wrong, because we all stand on different sides of different things.
But some of these podcasts as well, they go out and pick on people. They bully.
Right.
They get these OnlyFans girls and stuff like that don't represent the average woman.
Yes.
And they live in these fantasy bubbles where they say weird things or over-the-top outlandish things of what they expect from a man. And these podcasts uses them as, this is what's wrong with women.
Yeah, they're a battering ram. Yeah.
So another thing that's a problem, right? Because like I said, I've been talking to my ChatGPT like about this since yesterday.
Right.
So I got much, but it's like right here, it's like why most women are against it. And it says many men too. Like they push back on red pill content for good reasons when it drifts into extremes, right?
Yeah.
So you got overgeneralization, which is what we were just talking about, right? And you got adversarial framing, so relationships are treated like power games instead of partnerships.
Yep.
Lack of accountability. So, some red pill spaces, they blame women for everything rather than encouraging growth. So it's always like they need to do this and women don't do this, and it's just like like 2-5 brought up the best one, fresh and fit. Like that is exactly what everybody says red pill is now. Unfortunately,
and we are not that.
And they suck. Like they don't. Those are dudes who don't ever hang out with women and have never hung out with women. The framing of women is terrible, and they probably have mommy issues too, but they don't want to talk about that
for sure.
But what's it called? Then there's emotional detachment as a virtue. So vulnerability and cooperation are sometimes framed as weakness. So if you're an emotional man, you're trash. You're a beta. That's what I hate that word, but that's what they like. You're a beta.
So the other part of that though is, and where I think we get caught up in the crossfire, is that we hold women, or we think that women should be held accountable for things, for their mess ups, because everybody is quick to point out what a man does or says wrong. But with a woman, a lot of times we have to walk with eggshells. So like, for example, with our relation tips, for example, you know what I'm saying, which I love, we're encouraging men, or I should say, you're encouraging men to step up, be better, to their women. This is how you treat a woman, so on and so forth. But a lot of that stuff, if you have good men in your life, you generally hear that at a young age. You open the door for a woman, you do this for a woman. If she's cold, you give her your coat. I don't know if women are raised in that way outside of like, hey, your dad likes when I cook or whatever. Like, I don't know if people have deep dives of this is what your man is looking for. And that's what frustrates me, because it always comes across as we're trying to be better collectively, whereas they just maintain and like, I'm the prize, so you got to do all these things for my affection. Now, some people would call that red pill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I call that like,
real.
That's my experience and you got your own. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing, because, go ahead, Riz.
No, I just don't want to veer into that conversation right now, because that gets us sort of off the topic of whether we are
Red
podcast.
What I was going to say was that thing that I sent yesterday. So what makes a male take on a subject red pill, right? What makes it red pill? It's the biological realism. So attraction is rooted in biology, not social ideals. Status, confidence, and competence matter more than kindness alone. Power-aware framing, dating, and society are viewed through leverage, value, and hierarchy. Men are encouraged to increase their market value. Skepticism of mainstream narratives. So distrust of Disney romance, the whole just be yourself or unconditional acceptance, belief that men are sold comforting lies. Then you got the male first orientation. So men are told to prioritize self-improvement, wealth, fitness, and independence. Commitment is framed as something earned, not automatic. And then you have emotional restraint. Control over emotions is emphasized. Men are warned against overinvestment without reciprocity, right? So I agree with all these. Like, I don't think, well, except for the Disney romance thing, like, you really can't just be yourself and you will find somebody, but that's the only thing.
You agree with emotional detachment?
In certain situations, yeah, for sure. But y'all know me.
On this podcast, we literally talk about how we support one another when we have tough times.
Yeah, that's why I said in certain situations, though.
But on a red pill podcast, that would not be applauded. You'd be considered weaker in a beta.
No, because it's all about the framing and what you're talking about. And again, I'm talking about the actual definition of red pill, not the.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. But that's the thing. We can't operate in the perfect world. We have to operate in what actually exists when we're talking about. Okay. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like when people be like, "Oh, woke culture," like they're no longer talking about the original version of woke.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
and you're right. So if, in that case, then yeah, I guess right. Yeah, you're right. I would be a beta.
and I mean, no, I actually think in many instances, like just based on that definition, like we'd be all considered betas because we don't espouse a lot of those things. Some of them I can understand, like your value, but see, my value, I believe, is tied to my wife. Those guys don't see it that way. One, because they're not married, so they don't have spouses and loving relationships where they understand that their wife is their partner, and that I rise as we rise. I can't ascend if my wife isn't also ascending.
Yeah,
like that's not a thing. It's not an insular thing. But the one part I want to get to just so we don't stare at it too long. So I asked it. So it said, what's the difference? It says it says based on our formats, segments, and how we show up, we're a culture first podcast, not gender first. So we lead with culture, and we're not gender first. Do we talk about gender? Absolutely. But when we do, we hold both sides accountable. To your point, 2-5. So not only do if we say, oh, women should be doing this based in this situation right here, like we would like to see this happen. We also said we like to see dudes do this. It's not a one-sided thing like guys got it all together and women just need to do better.
But that's not the way women hear it. Women just hear the negativity aimed at them, and they feel attacked because because a lot of people don't do it. Because a lot of times women don't get criticized. One, let me sound red pill for a quick second, because we don't want to hear their mouths. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying like sometimes you avoid certain things because of the reaction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's not a bad thing, right? Like it's not red pill to say these truths that 2-5 is saying. It is true. And then they do believe.
And then on top of that, and y'all know this from the military, they say, respect and credibility, it's hard to earn, but you lose it just like that. So like when you're talking about, people that lead with emotion a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? All it takes is for you to say something that they don't like, and you're labeled red pill or something along those lines. And that's the kind of stuff that's happening here.
So right here, right, number 4, it says where the red pill goes wrong versus where it hits the truth. Where it hits, self-improvement matters, confidence beats desperation, boundaries are attractive, men must take responsibility for their outcomes. I think we all agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then it said where it breaks, treating women as a monolith, encouraging bitterness instead of growth, teaching manipulation over integrity, and confusing awareness with superiority. And I think that's the best part. The confusing awareness with superiority. So these dudes will sit up here and be like, oh yeah, a woman could be a gold digger. And then they'll take that and then join into the monolith of like all women are gold diggers.
But also the fact that like,
you want an apple?
If you have a 10-minute conversation and 8 minutes of that conversation is you saying what's wrong with women, and you spent 2 minutes saying, oh, fellas need to do better too, it makes you sound like you hate women.
No, I think that's gross.
Yeah.
I think that's gross.
No,
that's true. That's a part of what's happening. No, that's a part of what's happening. Because if you say anything negative, that's the reaction.
No.
You hate women. Who hurt you?
If it
all
was
that stuff like that.
So I'm thinking in terms of like if you have a podcast, and again, because Kevin Samuels is a great example actually. People who really, really watch Kevin Samuels will tell you he got on dudes. They would tell you he got on dudes as well. He would say dude, da 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 da. But the vast majority of stuff that went out was him bashing women.
Because that's what's going to get the clicks and the reaction.
No.
And people are smart enough to know that.
No. What ended up happening was his programming changed. So it went from being originally he only talked about dudes, and then it was dudes and women. Then it was a little bit of dudes, and then mostly women because he recognized that he got most of his clicks and most of his engagement from talking about women. But that's the other problem. But that's the other problem is people are rooted in this stuff instead of real life. So you can listen to Kevin Samuels and hear his bullshit or whatever, but you talk to normal people every day who might not espouse the things that he says, but you're so focused on the things that he says, you apply that to everybody else.
That's true.
To a degree.
I mean, I feel like the biggest thing is that it's a spectrum. You know what I mean? Like it's literally a spectrum. You got
we don't live in a spectrum society.
No. I'm talking about the red pill. It's the light. You got light red pill, medium red pill, and then dark red pill, right? So the light red pill is what I would think we were: realism, self-discipline. Medium would be skepticism and strategy, and then dark would be resentment, misogyny, nihilism. Just them dudes. And I think that's where that's where all the problems come in, man. Because at the end of the day, me and 2-5 definitely are like darker than Rez would be because
I'm not there at all.
We like to. I'm really big and supportive of the whole. Women don't have accountability anymore, And I do treat that as a monolith because 90% of everybody we know is on
what
the
I would
internet.
say. But see,
Get
there I
all
would say
from other women on the internet who don't talk to men because all men are trash. So when all men are trash, you grow up and your mind formulates these thoughts that, oh, I've heard this so many times, it must be true. So they walk around here with this whole all men suck. And then when they hear somebody say, hey, you should take accountability for this, they're like, oh, there he goes.
But do you notice that you didn't say, but do you notice that you said women? You didn't say some women?
Yeah, I said that.
There are no, you didn't. You said women, you just spoke about women as a monolith. Women don't have accountability.
That. When I said it, I said I treat them as a monolith. I said that.
But that's not a good thing because we don't do that with guys.
That's true. Unfortunately,
because
I have to go off of what I see.
No, but that's the point. That's my point. I know mad women that are accountable.
Well, I changed it to, remember I said 90%. So I give the 10% to the ones that are married and the ones that are actually good wives and they're out here decent, trying to, even the single ones that are actually out here like being quote unquote traditional. Like I give them
it's not even about being traditional. Like I think so.
It is though. Okay, go ahead.
No, we can land on. I think we can. So I want to go back to something I said earlier. If the three of us had a meeting, right? The three of us had a meeting, or no, the three of us had a meeting. I don't want to use kids because women aren't kids. The three of us had a meeting, and I had issues. Like we were having a conversation, and I said, "Hey guys, great pod. Okay, 2-5. We need to work on this. The pacing wasn't da 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 da." And then I started talking. Like I talked to 2-5 for like a minute. All right, these are the things we need to work on. And then I spent the next 20 minutes saying, Jack, these are the things you need to work on. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. This wasn't right. This wasn't right. This wasn't right. Wouldn't it sound like I didn't like you, Jack?
Yeah, it would. But
that's all I'm saying. Even if it was true. Even if it was true. Even if it was true, it would sound like even if it was true, it would sound like I'm battering you.
Correct. It would sound like
it wouldn't
that.
Sound like it wouldn't sound like a fair assessment because I'm pretty sure if I wanted to spend 20 minutes talking about stuff that 2-5 could work on, I could. But we're good here. I'm good here, and that's all I want us to consider in this conversation. That's it.
But think about that. In that same assessment, right? Let's just say the meeting is an hour long, and you spent 20 minutes on me. You gave 2-5 3, right? But if I need those 20 minutes because it's a consistent thing, and it's like, dang, dog, like we talked about this a lot. We did this. Like now, okay, this meeting, I'm harping on you. It's just like on football. If you're on a football team, you might get chastised a little bit, but after a while, all right, dog, we 5 games in. Yo, we didn't told you this. You ain't doing this. You ain't doing it. It's the same thing. And if
what's the main purpose of communication? What's the main purpose of a communication?
For two people to understand each other, have a conversation between each other, and get some understanding, meet in the common ground.
Right. So, have you ever had somebody yell at you for 20 minutes?
Yes.
Did you build understanding with when somebody yelled at you for 20 minutes straight?
No. However, you said we had a meeting. It's not yelling. There's a difference between
somebody's on you for 20 minutes after telling the other person for 3 minutes, and y'all sitting in the same room.
See, I don't care about stuff like that.
I
think that's part of the issue, though, is that everybody's different. Everybody requires different things, and everybody wants to be treated equal, I guess, but we're not. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, Michael Jordan. We'll use Michael Jordan or Emmitt Smith, somebody a star, right?
All right.
If Steve Kerr is late for practice, he running 15 laps. You know what I'm saying? If Michael Jordan is late for practice, and yo, Mike, you okay? Like you have car problems, everything okay with the wife? It's different. So in that scenario, yes, initially during that conversation, I would feel like, damn, he picking on me. Why is he doing this? But I'm big on reflection. So when I leave that scenario or whatever, I go home the next day, whatever it might be, I go, damn, I really did fuck that up. Because you know whether you did right or wrong.
That's why I said the accountability.
So it goes back to one of our disagreements that is like, It's something that you're right about, but I'm just who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I'm working on it, but I ain't there yet.
No.
So from that
wait, right there. That right there. This is who I am. Am I accountable?
I ain't even say it yet.
No, you just said. No, you just said.
I know, but I ain't even finished the sentence.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You obviously eager. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's the point right there. When we say women have to be accountable, we also have to be accountable to recognize that the way that we're communicating is not effective.
No, that's not true.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
You know why it's not effective? You know why it's not effective? Because they choose not to listen. And you know what else happens?
I'm not listening to nobody tell me. I'm I'm a terrible person and all this stuff. There's thousands of hours of podcasts that do this, dog.
Okay, but is there a difference?
Yes, between telling people in your real life are not them.
Right, and then is there a difference?
They're not listening.
Is there a difference in me telling you
they don't exist to help women do better? They don't exist. Do you think?
No, you're right. No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm talking about the women themselves because, like I was saying, I go back and reflect or whatever it may be. But what I'm saying is, once you say that thing to a woman, that's just what you become labeled, no matter what you do after that, no matter what you did before that. Just that's the extreme because we label everything. As soon as somebody do something, there's an ism attached. It's racism, it's classism, it's this, and it might just be a mistake because we're all fucking human. You know what I'm saying? I
just did it yesterday at work. We just talked about it. Like yesterday at work, somebody was talking about, oh no, I didn't talk to y'all about it. I don't remember who I was talking to about it. It might have been another coworker.
You mentioned it to me, but we didn't talk about it.
So this oh yeah, you're right. This girl at work said, my house has a building flaw, and I can tell that a man built it because this. And I was like, I didn't say anything because I'm at work and I know how to conduct myself. But in my head, I was like, you just sat here and said, I love old homes built pre-1975. If that's the case, 98% of those houses are all man-made. There is no women attachment. So how are those houses perfect? But then now, fast forward to 2026, where women can be in construction, all of a sudden, all the flaws are just men flaws. Those are the kind of things that piss me off because, and yes, I'm saying women as a whole, they can make stories and put men in one category, and men are supposed to just be like, all right, well, she said it and we just got to accept it. You're not supposed to have any pushback, because if you have pushback, then you become a misogynist, you become power dominating, and you're just a domineering force, and here you go suppressing women's voices, and it's just like, oh, like that's not a thing.
Well, no, so what I was trying to get to, when Rez got eager on me, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like, I don't know if it was you, Jack, but it was somebody. We were having a conversation about white people. And I said something along the lines of, yes, I've had bad experiences with white people, but I look at people as individuals. So I would never say white people this, and that, when I know that this white guy is not like that, or this white woman is not like that. And I think that's where we're getting at with the women. Like, yes, there are a high percentage of women that fall into some of these buckets that we're putting them in. You know what I'm saying? But that escapes the reality that there are some that don't act that way or aren't that way. But the problem is that when we have these conversations about race and things like that, since I brought it up, people will say, well, if you're quiet, you're complicit. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing here. Like a lot of these, like me, us three, we get on this podcast and we tell men, do better. Don't cheat on your wife. XYZ. A lot of the women that are the good ones that we know, they don't necessarily call out the bad ones either. They just roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Or they laugh about it. And they spend time bashing men or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times, I'm sure that there's some women out there that'll be like, well, my husband ain't like that. That's cool. But like, men ain't like that, or all men ain't like that. Like, because we individualize everything because we're selfish creatures a lot of the time.
And honestly, that's a great point. I just think, honestly, I think the internet is the biggest flaw here because in real life, when you have conversations with people, you're not gonna get this whole thing that's happening on the internet. Even what we're talking about now, how I say women aren't accountable and all that kind of stuff. In real life, when I have a conversation with my wife and she's upset, we can just talk about it. And I can be like, you know what? Maybe I did say this the wrong way. Maybe I was being a jerk. And we can come to an understanding. But at the same time, I can still say, hey, look, I don't like this and I feel like this. And it just figure it out. But on the internet, it's just black and white. You know, there's no gray area. It's not like, you know, these conversations can left and right. No, it's just this is that and that is this. And it's just that.
And that's the solution. Get off the internet and have real life conversations.
Hey, I've been off since January 1st. My life, hey, dog, no grays. No gray hair.
But in real life, I will say, Roger Craig is a Hall of Famer. After all these years, if it was no Roger Craig, there wouldn't have been a Ricky Waters, there wouldn't have been a Garrison Hurst, there wouldn't have been a CMC. He set the template. They follow it. He should have been in the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to just leave it at that.
Super facts. Shout out to Roger Craig. My first favorite running back of all time. My first running back that ever was like, oh my gosh, this dude's the best. Of course, he's a Niner, so you know it, or a bang Niner gang. I've been lobbying for Roger Craig to make the Hall of Fame as long as I've known what the Hall of Fame was. I think it's a travesty that it took this long for him to get in, but I'm glad he did finally get in. And he's the first running back ever to have 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiving. A lot of the stuff that like became, like Tufal just said, the template for the modern running back, the Marshall Faulk. That was Roger Craig first. Like these guys, Steven Jackson, these guys that y'all really enjoy, Maurice Jones-Drew, Fred Taylor, like these guys, they all came from the Roger Craig tree, but there was none before him, and there were many after him. So he's the dad, and the dad definitely should have been in before the kids. But that's all right because we know they have increased numbers in football and stuff like that. But yeah, shout out to him for Roger Craig for getting in. I definitely just once again.
So additionally to Roger Craig, Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, both, on their first ballot Hall of Famers. Luke Kuechly on his second try, I believe it was. Second, he's a Hall of Famer. And then, the last name is escaping me. Adam Vinatieri. Got it. Adam Vinatieri, who obviously some would say made Tom Brady's career in a lot of ways, because if he misses some of those kicks, no, don't do that, Jack, because you're about to say something that I didn't say. You know what I'm saying? Like if Adam Vinatieri misses some of those kicks, even maybe the first one, even we don't know if Tom Brady's starting that next season or any of that. Like they might have been, all right, our guy Drew Bledsoe is back, so let's run with it. That's all I'm saying. So you know what I mean? If Adam Vinatieri belongs in the Hall of Fame, I don't know I don't know how to rate kickers, right? So there's a part of me that feels like he took Terrell Suggs' spot.
Okay. With kickers? All right, so I feel like this. If a kicker is known, then he's a big deal. And I know that sounds crazy to say, but like nobody knows any kickers that's not on their team. Like
Young Ho.
His name
Yahweh cool. We know him.
So you got Adam Vinatieri, you got Mike Vanderjagt. I don't know if this is a big kicker name, but I'm gonna say David Akers. And then who's the big leg from the Raiders?
Sebastian Janikowski.
Yes. Florida State, by the way.
Those four kickers, most of the time, people are gonna know who you're talking about.
And for all of y'all in y'all 50s, Jack ain't being disrespectful. I'm gonna throw in Morton Anderson.
Okay. Morton Anderson, Hall of Famer. So I just looked this up. There's 3 pure kickers that made the Hall of Fame: Jan Stenerud, Morton Anderson, and now Adam Vinatieri. That's it.
And don't forget Justin Tucker before all the fuckery too.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's not in though. I'm just talking about people.
I know. I'm just yeah.
But yeah, Justin Tucker is definitely somebody that's known league wide. Oh, you know who else? Martin Gramatica.
Yes. But I remember him more for tearing his ACL on the celebration.
But I say that to
He's
say,
got a
like,
son in the NFL now.
oh, that's crazy. That's
Or in
dope.
college. Yeah.
Well, congratulations to him.
But
I say that
also.
to say,
Sorry.
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the Vinatieri also won those championships with the Patriots and then went to the Colts and was like winning champions over there. Like
I was saying he was nice on both.
Yeah.
But and that's my point though. If the kicker is known, if you could say a kicker's name, he probably deserves, to be in the Hall. Because you're not somebody you're just gonna know. You don't know Bobby Warren, like,
we know Aubrey from Dallas, what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna get to know Cam Little in a few years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He came out as a rookie and broke the NFL record in field goals.
Yeah, no, Aubrey's dope too. Like,
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah.
I tell you what, I thought Jake Elliott was gonna be one of them guys. Nope.
Not so much, right? So Larry Fitzgerald, he got in on the first try. I assume you guys agree that he's the first time, like he should be a first ballot.
I say that if you have the greatest hands in NFL history, you 100% deserve first ballot Hall of Fame.
So that leads me to, his position, right? Wide receiver. You got still Torrey Holt's out there waiting. Reggie Wayne's out there waiting. And I'm starting to get to that point where are they going to be Roger Craig?
Dang. I mean, hey, bro, at the end of the day, man, we just talked about it. Everything ain't fair. Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Like, everybody can't.
Yeah. Andre Johnson got in.
Like,
Megatron got in.
And people would say Andre Johnson is nowhere close to Torrey Holt. Somebody would argue that, and it's a legit argument that you could have, but it is what it is.
So I'm in the middle on Andre Johnson. Like, I think, he obviously has the numbers, but I think what helps him is the lack of quarterback that he played with, and he
like
still
Megatron
compiled those numbers. Megatron played with Stafford.
Yo, can we have a little small tangent real quick?
Go.
Did
Go for
Megatron
it. It's a podcast.
Did Megatron make Stafford, or did Stafford make Megatron?
I think they both worked in unison.
Calvin Johnson would have been Calvin Johnson regardless of who his quarterback was.
I agree.
But does Calvin Johnson pull a Andre Johnson if his quarterback isn't Matthew Stafford?
I think so.
Calvin Johnson
So
would have
if
been
Matt
Calvin
Schaub
Johnson.
Okay, no, I'm just saying
If
Matt
Alex
Schaub
Smith was his quarterback, he would have been. If Jimmy Garoppolo was his quarterback, he would have been him.
Okay.
Just going off of pure athletic ability, and this is no diss to Randy Moss, obviously, but just going off of pure athleticism, he's Shaq. You ain't got no answer for him. He does what he wants to do. You know what I mean? And you just going to take it and like it.
Okay. But
nothing you can do with that man.
That's why. Well, actually, now that you brought that up, Jack, let's do something else, and I'm gonna step out and let you two do it. So what do we do with somebody like Julio Jones, for example?
Julio Jones doesn't have the touchdowns to be in the conversation. Like,
he
was still dominant. He was still dominant.
I don't have Julio in the Hall.
300-yard games and all.
I don't have Julio in the Hall.
But
all right, so
okay.
what do we?
Okay,
so
how about
Steve Smith?
I don't have Steve Smith in the Hall.
Senior?
Yeah,
I don't have Steve.
That's the only Steve Smith
one?
I know.
Did his son make it to the league?
Hold on. I think Steve Smith is a Hall of Famer simply because of these factors. Jake Delhomme, 5'8". Jake Delhomme.
I think if you have Steve Smith as a Hall of Famer, you should already have Deebo Samuel as a Hall of Famer.
No, and this is why I say no. This is why I say no. Just give me a quick 20 seconds here. All right, Steven Smith Jr. has more receiving yards than Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson, Chris Carter, Anquan Bolden, Julio, Torrey Holt. That's tough, man. He's top.
No,
he's eighth all time. He's eighth all time in receiving yards with those quarterbacks that Jack just listed.
That's
like, how can you not have him in there?
He has a 200-yard. He has a 200-yard playoff game.
Dude,
all right, let's ask ourselves this question. He's in the top 10 receiving yards. Of the
Yes.
others that are not active, how many of them are in the hall? How many are not in the hall?
All right, let's see. All of them are in.
Then he'll get in.
Yeah, Jerry Rice,
He won't
Larry
get in first
Fitzgerald,
ballot.
T.O., Randy Moss, Isaac Bruce, Tony Gonzalez, and Tim Brown. Those are the.
And he's
people
already
that-
been up for. He's already been up for the hall though, right?
Yeah, this was his second or third year as well.
Oh, and that's the other thing. There's the
I
backlog
think-
of wide receiver. That's what's going to
Right,
happen.
that's the problem. Yeah.
I also think the problem also could be his attitude could be something that, they do look at that. Unfortunately, you're not
He's
supposed
also
to.
a media member now.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that people think you're a dick.
Yeah, he's not a beloved. He's not a beloved media member at all.
But ask him. Ask
He's
him.
doing the opposite of Romo. Like how Romo's become like a beloved media member. Steve
Yeah.
Smith is not a beloved media
Hey,
member.
all I'm gonna say about Steve Smith is go Utes. Said of course Drew Brees, got in on his first time as he should have. And that's where it gets interesting for me because y'all have heard me say, well, Brez has heard me say this before, but we got all these numbers, 50,000, 60,000. And so do you guys feel, because in baseball, I know generally if you hit 500 home runs, you're considered to be a Hall of Famer. Do you think there's a passing number that should make a quarterback automatic?
Say that one more time.
No,
Do you think there should be a number of yards that makes the Hall of Fame for a quarterback? Like if you achieve these many yards, you're automatically a Hall of Famer.
I actually do. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that if you cross 65,000 yards, you should automatically be in the Hall of Fame as a quarterback. I think that's fair. 65,000 yards is a lot of yards.
not when they add the 19th game.
Okay. Okay. Then, hey, 75,000.
Because see, that's
So,
the problem. See, that's the problem is when you create that number and then they add more games and gives you more opportunities to get numbers and it waters down that number. So now it looks like, Joe Montana doesn't have that many yards.
So how many
It's like,
quarterbacks?
Wait,
How many
though.
quarterbacks do you think have passed for 65,000 yards?
5, 6.
5.
Okay.
Brady, Brees,
Hey, hold
Manning,
on. Hey, Dallas,
I already
Mike, Jack
said
don't
it.
know sports. Jack don't know sports. It's crazy.
Favre. Brady, Brees, Manning, Favre, and Rodgers.
Word. I
think that's automatic.
So if you're one of the,
So
if you beat the top 5 quarterbacks of all time in yardage, then you're a Hall of Famer.
I don't.
yeah,
on, y'all.
No,
but
that's
I think. But,
To me,
well, I think the era. I think
to
the
me,
era
it's
hurts.
the name test. To me, it's the name test. When I say your name, do I say that person's a Hall of Famer? Which is why
All right, give us
Jones
some
was like,
names.
not a Hall
Give
of
us some
Famer.
names.
Julio Jones.
But Rez, that's not fair either, though, because you're biased with Frank Gore.
Against who?
No,
With
you
Frank
can't say.
Gore.
I mean, Frank Gore's the third all-time leading rusher,
He's
though.
the
Like,
third
hey,
all-time leading
no,
rusher.
if you ain't letting the third all-time leading
No,
rusher in, what are we doing?
Look, listen, I agreed that he should be in based off of his numbers. That's fine. But you also can't just do the name test with certain people. Frank Gore is not the name test.
But you can, but you
You're
can
a
do. Okay,
fan-
if
you're
you
a
said
San
do the name
Francisco
test and give a 1-sentence argument for them being in the Hall of Fame, I go Frank Gore,
Okay,
third leading
you-
rusher all time.
Okay, that's fine. But you said the name test.
Okay,
and the
now
name
do it with
test
Julio
is not
Jones.
for
Go.
everybody. No, Julio Jones. No, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Then what are we arguing?
Nobody ever said he's hot ass.
You just said I was biased.
All right, let me give you. All right, how about this?
Frank Gore.
How about this? We'll wrap this up. How about let me give y'all some names? How about that?
Go. Sorry, yeah, I don't have a
Jason
list of
Witt.
names.
Hey, hold on.
Hall of Fame.
I don't have a
Hall
list
of
of
Fame.
names either.
Why are
I
you
don't
so
got-
angry right now?
I don't got a list of
Come
names
on.
either. I'm just going off the top of my head. Jason Witt,
Hall of Famer.
Yes, Hall of Fame.
Terrell Suggs,
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer.
We already talked about Steve Smith.
Hall
How
of Fame.
about? Well, I guess running backs are a little bit tougher. Eli Manning.
He's gonna get in the Hall of Fame.
He'll get in.
Top 5. He's top 5 in like every category.
Matthew Stafford.
Hall of
Hall of
Fame.
Famer. 2-time MVP, Super Bowl champion.
Cam Newton.
He has over 50,000 yards as well. So
No,
sorry, Cam. You're not a Hall of Famer. You
Cam
have
is not
two-
getting in.
He has
Russell
3
Wilson.
wins. 4 wins. Russell Wilson could have been if he didn't go to the Broncos.
Russell wasted. He's gonna regret leaving Seattle. Leaving Seattle will be why he doesn't make the Hall. If he stayed in Seattle, he would have made the Hall, and I don't think it would have been close.
Yeah, I thought he should have maybe had a MVP or something at some point too. But I think of MVP a little bit differently, which we'll get to in a minute. Jamal Charles,
Right? No.
Peanut Tillman.
Do you have a one sentence argument for him?
The only thing I can say about Jamal Charles is that he has the same yards per what was it? Was it yards per carry or yards per game? Yards per carry. He's top 2, and number 1 is Jim Brown. That's the only thing I can say positive because I don't think he's Hall of Fame.
He's top 2 and not 2.
Your time on top was short like leprechaun's arms.
Unfortunately,
no.
Priest Holmes is a Hall of Famer if you're from Texas.
None of those Chiefs running backs from the last 25 years are Hall of Famers. I'll go ahead and solve you that.
All right, a couple more. We'll do a couple more real quick. James Harrison.
Definitely.
Ooh, yeah.
Strongest
Absolutely.
man in the NFL. Yeah. Absolutely.
Rodney Harrison.
Absolutely.
Yes. Fred Taylor.
Oh man, Fred. You know what?
Fred's
Say yes. I'll say yes only because what he did in Jacksonville.
Fred is top 10. Fred's top 10 rusher all time.
No, he's top 12.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he's top 12. I think he's number 16.
I think he's like closer to 18.
Yeah.
But Matt Ryan.
No.
I have him as a no.
No.
Bobby Wagner, last one.
Yes. Yes.
Wags gets in.
All right, let's see. Fred Taylor is number. Hey, how about that? Number 18.
18.
Oh.
Okay. No, he doesn't get in.
So, all right. I guess this will be the last question. So, how high on the rushing list do you have to be to be a lock?
I think top 20.
If you're top 5, you gotta get in, dog. If you get into the top 5, I don't know how they keep you out.
That's a fact too. But I think top 20 for running backs matters. Or you can do top 15.
And I think everybody top 10 is in, except for Frank right now.
Let me see. So top 10,
Emmitt Smith,
Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Frank Gore, Barry, Adrian Peterson, who is
next year.
Adrian Peterson's on the ballot next year.
Well, he's first. We already know.
Curtis Martin, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jerome Bettis, Eric Dickerson.
Did Curtis get in?
Henry. Yes. And Derrick Henry is
so
number
yeah.
10.
Derrick Henry's
gonna get in. He's gonna get in.
Yeah. So right before Fred Taylor on the list is Thurman Thomas at 17, and Thurman Thomas got in.
Thurman got in.
Yeah. So
it took him a while to get in, but he got in.
So I say I keep it at the top 20. Then I keep it at top 20.
Okay. All right. So we had the awards the other day, guys.
All right.
So we're just going to talk about a few of them. We don't want to take up too much time now. So I'm going to give y'all what I'm going to do, Jack, is I'm going to tell you the award. I'm going to tell you the candidates. And as I say their name, I'll give you how many votes they got.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start with
what you can get.
I don't know. I don't feel like doing math right now. Okay. So for MVP, it looks like 50. At least. I'm just throwing that out there. So let's go. So MVP, Matthew Stafford with 24, Drake May 23, Josh Allen 2, Christian McCaffrey 0, Trevor Lawrence 0, but Justin Herbert received the last first place vote but didn't finish in the top 5. Go.
Can we talk about why? I don't know how else to say this, but to say it this way: whose dick did Justin Herbert suck to get this much clout?
You know what? There are 1,000 different ways that you could have said that.
No. This is the only way to say it because why? Why does he keep getting this?
Well, the person that voted for him did come out publicly and say that he voted for Justin Herbert because of his offensive line and how beat up it was and what he had to overcome and persevere through. Whereas Matthew Stafford, the moment that he had an offensive line injury, fell apart. Those are his words. Sam Munson, I believe his name is.
Those are his words, but is it true?
It's his truth.
No.
Um,
Is it true, 2-5? When you watch the football game with your eyeballs and you watch the Rams play their last game, did it look like Matthew Stafford fell apart because of his line?
no, I think that, but I do value original thought. From the standpoint of, I'm not a big supporter of groupthink. You know what I mean? So if he truly believes that Justin Herbert deserves an MVP, I'm not going to knock him. I disagree with him vehemently, but I'm not going to disagree with him because MVP means something different to everybody. And I also don't believe that you should continue to do MVP a way that it has, so for example, Lamar Jackson won it 2 years ago. Rez and I were totally against that. I thought it should have been Christian McCaffrey. They were playing musical chairs. They were playing musical chairs with the quarterbacks. First it was Dak. He lost to Tua. Then it was Tua. Tua lost to Baltimore. Then it became Lamar Jackson. The Ravens intercepted Brock Purdy 4 times and then added another interception and Lamar Jackson stayed and won the MVP. So then last year, Josh Allen won it. Even though Lamar had the better numbers, you could argue.
Well, that's because they gave it to him when he wasn't supposed to get it, so that's why they give it.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and I don't subscribe to that because each year is a new year. So why I voted for somebody for MVP last year is not what I'm doing this year if it doesn't play out that way. So just to give you guys clarification on what I'm talking about, and I know y'all gonna disagree with me, but I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? JSN is my MVP. But y'all do with that what you will, and tell me who your MVP is.
I put Puka over JSN.
Hey, you could use Puka, but then you got to bring in Stafford.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because I thought Offensive Player of the Year was going to be a 2-man race between Puka and JSN, but Christian McCaffrey finished second. But anyway, back to MVP.
Well, I would say. Oh, well, I was going to say I can't agree with you. Like, I agree with the no group think thing, but I can't agree with paying dues to somebody who owed it, because if that was the case, I'd be lying. Kobe got an MVP because they gave it to somebody else.
No, you're right, and I disagreed with him winning that MVP. I thought that was Chris Paul's MVP.
I don't disagree with it. It's like LeBron's last MVP. Like he got it because obviously he deserved it, but he also got it because they're like, we've been robbing you.
And LeBron should have got James Harden's MVP, but that's a whole nother conversation.
James Harden sniffed the MVP.
So with MVP, do you guys think they got it right? Do you think Stafford should have won it by more? Where do you stand?
I mean, I don't care about the votes. He won, so I think he got it. I think they got it right.
I think I just going back briefly. If you voted for Justin Herbert to win with a first place vote, you should have your vote stripped away, because in that argument that you made, now I'm dead serious. In that argument that you just stated, at no point does that sound like, oh, this person's the best player in the league. It just sounds like he thinks he's in a tough situation, which. That's not an MVP.
But I think that for some people, including myself, a lot of those things factor. Like, I don't think of MVP as best player. I don't think of MVP as most outstanding player. I just try to look at
player.
Value means something different to everybody.
So you think that all things are perfect?
That's why you shouldn't have groupthink.
Right, but so what that person wants me to believe is that they believe that if everything was perfect, Justin Herbert would be the MVP, would be the best player in the league.
Maybe.
Right?
No, what they're saying is,
I don't think you have to be. I don't think you have to be the best player in the league to be MVP.
You would be the most valuable. Like, what is value?
No, that's
value
the thing,
is what you determine it to be.
Because value does not have to mean best. It just means that you probably bring the most value to the team.
Value could mean if I took you off the team,
it could be a lot.
Y'all will win 4 games. That could be value. Value could be you showed up in the clutch moments, and when we needed you, you made the plays that won the game.
And you think that was Justin Herbert?
No, I don't think that. That's what the dude thinks.
Do you think he thinks that was Justin Herbert?
Yes.
No, I don't think he thinks
I think he
that's
does.
my point. This is my point, y'all.
That.
Like, I think so. No, it doesn't have to be a group thing. If he would have voted for JSN, that makes sense to me.
That's my MVP.
JSN makes sense to me. Justin Herbert, nothing Justin Herbert has ever done from the day he set foot in the NFL has said he's been the best player in the NFL.
Not once. Not
Agreed.
once.
Never.
Agreed.
You don't have the clutch game that Justin Herbert brought them back and won the game. You don't have this story. He doesn't have astronomical numbers that you can say Justin Herbert's the best player in the league.
Just like
he's
last-
he's had skill position players. He has an amazing coach. He's had amazing defenses.
Okay.
The dude just does not win. He's not a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback. He's a serviceable quarterback. He's you can even say he's a high to mid-level quarterback. He's not no one should say that. That's the first one. I'm gonna get off Justin Herbert.
So just to give you insight into how my brain works, you know what I'm saying? If the Bengals would have made the playoffs last year, I might have voted for Joe Burrow just off of the strength of that defense that he had to put up with. You know what I'm saying? Because no, I'm not. No, this is not a big up Joe Burrow moment. I'm just saying with that defense and the numbers that he put up last year, the video game numbers, him and Jamar Chase, I think he would have been worthy of an MVP vote. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm a little jaded with the Joe Burrow thing. I can admit that because to me, you know, watching Joe Flacco this year, I lost a lot of respect for Joe Burrow. I just did because it's always his offensive line doesn't do this and all this other stuff. And it's like Flacco went back there and was fine.
He's got the best skill set. He's got the best skill position players in the league. Best set. He has the best set in the league. I don't want to hear about Joe Burrow.
All right, so
Josh Allen. Josh Allen should not have gotten 2 MVP votes this year. He had the number one. He's the leading rusher in the NFL this year. Don't tell me that he's dragging this team along. He's got the number 1 rusher in the league, dog.
But that kind of goes back to Stafford for a second because he had Devontae Adams, Puka.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like,
which is why mine was Drake May.
Okay.
Oh, you had Drake May as your MVP.
I had Drake May.
Okay.
It should have been if they were going to do that. It should, and that's why the Justin Herbert vote bothers me, because let's say that is your argument about Matt Stafford. Drake May is sitting right there. Drake May is right there. That dude in his second year in the league played big boy ball all season and got his team to the Super Bowl. Now let's take this because you can't factor in Super Bowl because that's playing the results. But that season that they had coming off of last year with a first-year head coach, dog.
Well, hey, that coach won Coach of the Year, so let's get there. Mike Vrabel, 19 votes. All right, this is the part where it gets spooky. You ready?
Go.
Liam Cohen, 16. Mike McDonald, 8. Ben Johnson, 1. Kyle Shanahan, 6. He had more first place votes, but Johnson had more overall votes.
Okay, so if I take my team to the Super Bowl with a second year,
you can't count that. Can't count that.
Yeah,
It's regular season.
before at the end of the regular season.
Okay, well, if I take a team that last year we were wondering like how last year the Patriots, we were like, man, they look good. They probably got a good 2 to 3 year window, and they're going to be somebody to be afraid of. And they skipped that 2 to 3 year window and did it in 1. I think that's Coach of the Year material. Outside of that, the only other person that would have got my vote is Shanahan because the 49ers were dead the whole year and they were still finding a way to win these games. Half the roster gone. Oh, look, these people are back. Oh, nope, somebody else died. Oh, we still win. Oh, look, this guy's back. Oh, somebody else died. Like, it's just the 49ers couldn't catch a break and they still made it to the playoffs. And it just, Shanahan deserves it if it's not Vrabel. Everybody else, whatever.
Yeah, I could see the argument for Vrabel. My problem is this. I want to say when dude got fired at the end of 1 year last year with the Patriots, we all thought that was a bad.
Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo got a raw deal last year. I think Gerard Mayo put everything in place for this team to be what it is this year.
So he got Mark
everything
Jackson.
in turn he got Mark Jackson. He really did. He was like that team was on an upward trajectory. I think that they always wanted Vrabel for that job, but they just didn't want Vrabel to be the guy that came right after Bill Belichick. You don't want to be the guy that comes after the guy. You want to be the guy that comes after the guy that comes after the guy. You want to be the number 2 after that. And I think that's the Patriots plan all along, and they used Gerard Mayo to make that happen because they didn't want Vrabel to have to follow up Belichick. They wanted to get more like that. That to me, And so that's the first thing for me. The second thing with Shanahan, I think this is where we see the negative impact of the media on actual results of things that happen on the field, right? So just think about it from this standpoint. The entire season, they were telling us why the Niners season didn't matter. The media for the entire year has been saying, oh, these wins don't matter because these wins don't matter because these. So now when we get to the end of the year and we're voting for Coach of the Year, none of those wins matter because we've already explained away all year why these wins don't matter. So you have Nick Wright, you have these people like that pride themselves in just trying to tear down. And I hate to be the guy to make this argument because I am a Niners fan, but I hear people doing it every week. Every week they picked against us. Every week they picked against us. If Kyle Shanahan was simply playing against the media's picks for the year, do you know what his record would be? Like he'd be like if it was we get a point if we get it right, you get a point if we get it wrong. He'd be washing them the entire year. He made them look like they didn't know what they're talking about the entire year, and then they voted it that way. So it makes sense to me. So it's not something that shocked me.
Yeah, it didn't shock me that Roman Reigns took it there. You know, him and CM Punk had one of the best promo battles in years, and I know the overall, consensus is that Roman beat that ass. But I think CM Punk held his own.
I won't say Roman beat that ass. Roman just got the last laugh, you know what I mean? But it was a good promo regardless. Like both of them. It was good from the start. It was good because Roman came out, gave us just like, hey y'all, remember y'all used to hate me? Now y'all like me. Like that was cool. This CM Punk comes out.
Some of us.
Anyway. This CM Punk comes out, and then he starts talking to Finn Balor.
So that was like, gangster as fuck. I love that.
Like you interrupt me to come talk to Finn Balor, and then and then CM Punk got his stuff off. I'm the champion. I'm this. I'm that. I'm this. You want to be me? You follow my path and all this other stuff. And honestly, I like the promo because both sides work. You telling Roman, oh, you're a part timer, and you're doing it like me, and you had a long reign, but I had a long reign too, and my reign might have been better versus this, and it was dope. And then it's like, wait a minute, Roman comes in, hey big dog, you calling me a part timer, but you were gone for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So I just love the way that they did it. And then, hey, I don't know if you know this, but if you go and watch the segment now, they took out the Zootopia part.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so the Zebros thing isn't on there no more.
Well, probably because he cursed. I don't know.
Nah, they took the whole thing off. There's no Zebros at all. So I'm like, oh, maybe Disney was like, hey, we got a movie to sell. Yeah, man.
You think people wouldn't go see Zootopia because Roman Reigns said zebra shit?
I don't know how that works, but nowadays the way people are so sensitive, I wouldn't want to watch it.
It felt authentic. That's what I think. That's the word to describe it.
It did.
Like it didn't feel hostile, but it felt like this is how I really feel. Yeah, like you know what I mean. What you think, Rez?
I thought it was a good promo. I think that they did a good job of selling the fight way in advance. I don't remember. I can't think of a promo that got people excited like this since I've been back in wrestling. Like watching. There was some like they talked about like the pipe bomb that CM Punk did.
Yeah.
That John Cena did on CM Punk. That one there. Like that was one of the ones I could think of, but that didn't build up the fight the way I think this one built up the fight. I think people are really excited about that. Like people are already saying that this is definitely going to be the WrestleMania main event. That's already the talks. So I think they did a great job of setting it up, and they did a great job of reestablishing Roman as the guy, even though he was always the guy from the audience standpoint. But in that stage, in that ring, on that stage, that's the first time I've got to see him in modern, like in the modern times doing that and just being great. I also think that CM Punk held his own, like to Jack's point. I don't think he got blown out of the water, made it look bad or nothing like that. But I will say that the real loser of that segment was Drew McIntyre.
Oh.
SmackDown is a record label.
Drew McIntyre got he was the third unofficial man in the ring, and he just got washed for about 20 minutes from both of them, from the point where Roman coming out and saying, hey, who do y'all want me to fight? And then the audience, he said, do you want me to fight Drew? No! Like, nobody wanted him to fight Drew. It's because nobody likes you, Drew McIntyre. I don't know if you realize that. And not in like a you have heat, so we hate you kind of way. It's like, we're not interested in you.
Like, go home.
Like, go home, Roger. Like,
go be a
real.
family man.
Yeah, like, for real. So that, and then, and then CM Punk coming and saying, you want to fight Drew because you think he'd be an easier person to beat. And like, it was really just, it was, we're dissing you without you being here. And I think that was something that was planned by CM Punk and Roman Reigns really, really well. So just great segment. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, speaking of Drew McIntyre, last night, he got confronted by the one and only South Carolina's own. South Carolina's own. Yeah, Trick told Drew McIntyre last night, I will beat you in the main event of WrestleMania because, we're getting ready for Elimination Chamber. So Chamber qualifying matches started last night. So,
I personally think SmackDown should definitely jump the gun and go ahead and just push Trick Williams to the top because real wrestling fans, the 2.5s out there that watch NXT and everything else, like real wrestling fans know TNA champion, NXT champion, like they know that Trick Williams is a champion. So I think that him coming to WWE, I don't have a problem with them. Just, you know what? We were going to slow roll this, but hey, F it. Go ahead. Send him to the top. We'll let Cody and Drew battle it out right now. Trick gets the Elimination Chamber dub, and then boom, from then on, we're pushing Trick.
I think it's been an interesting decision to have him in these conversations already, because I would have liked to see what it would be like what the reception would be if he got like the U.S. title or the Intercontinental title, but they literally pushed him right to we're going to send you after the world title, which is interesting because Oba Femi's right there. So I would assume I don't know if they just think that Oba Femi doesn't have that kind of.
Yeah, Oba. Well, it's not decided yet, but
right now Oba hasn't picked a side yet. So that's my point. Like if anybody, Oba literally dropped the NXT title to come to the main roster. So when you look at it from that standpoint, like the fact that they're just pushing Trick to that space tells me that they have a genuine interest in seeing if it's something that the crowd's going to resonate with. I don't think outside of the entrance right now, like when I listen to the promos, the crowd isn't reacting at a degree yet where it will that they can push that button to get.
It's not LA Knight.
It's not there yet. But I think if they were to do something like give him an Intercontinental title run, get like push him towards the Intercontinental title, push him towards US title, push him towards one of those lower titles, and see how the crowd reacts to him winning that one, then we can say, okay, how does this work? How does he perform here? And now let's push him to the World Championship.
I see it a little different
for me.
Well, I do too. I got a little bit of an old school take here, and maybe you guys will appreciate this. So growing up, I was a big wrestling fan, and then in 1993, something happened. Saying they came out with the King of the Ring, and that usually was the springboard of, besides Billy Gunn. Saying if you win the King of the Ring, you were generally centered for big things.
Yeah, you're the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would like to happen, because the King of the Ring has been very de-emphasized over the last couple of years, ever since Xavier Woods won it. And you could argue even before that. I would like to see them, Oba and Trick, have a match in the finals of the King of the Ring. And you either have the ruler, so the king makes sense, or you have Trick, that new shooting star that you can't stop, be the king. And now the charisma just oozes because now he can be arrogant, even more arrogant. And then you set them up for a title match at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah.
Is the way I kind of look at it.
I like that idea. I like that idea from the standpoint of, because one of the reasons I don't want Trick pushed towards the World Championship right now is because I don't want the IWC turning against him.
That's
Because
what I was thinking too.
That can be the thing that hurts him is, oh, he got the push, he didn't deserve it, da 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 da. And that sentiment online, this social media aspect of it, can absolutely. I've seen them shift in the middle of campaigns
Shifted in
because
Jay's.
people weren't
They
popular.
did it with Cody and Roman last year.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like
they did it with Jay, Cody. I wouldn't say Roman, but Cody and Jay definitely got. Everybody loved it, and then they hated it. But I don't like that. I don't respect the IWC. I respect being in the crowd and seeing the crowd. You know, I believe the IWC is much like anybody else we see on the internet. Half of y'all don't have money, you can't afford the tickets, you never been there, so I don't care. Like I don't respect y'all. I've been on TV.
Bro, boys, stand up.
I'm on top of that. Like, bro, you see my belt on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw something that said recently that was talking about like it said that there's certain things that WWE does that it's great in the stadium that people love. Like they love the entrance in the stadium. They love like the thing that y'all know I hate when they break matches for Jey Uso to run it back. Like I think that's the worst thing in the world. But if you're in the arena, that's fire. It's dope. It's just a terrible TV product. I do not.
Yeah,
get it.
like Roman being a regular person but having an Undertaker length entrance.
Well, that's his aura, though. That's his aura, and I think when Trick masters his entrance, that's how it's gonna be.
yeah, long entrance. Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think like his song, you gotta let the audience feel that.
He'll start Seth
Yeah.
Rollins and you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Hey, so you know, speaking of old school takes, you know what I would love to see? We don't have a barbershop on WWE anymore, but I would love to see Raquel put Liv through a window. You know what I mean? Like, you know, she told her to stay back on Monday Night Raw. Don't interfere. Liv came out, you know, we know what happened. Then she stood over Stephanie Vaquera with the title. You know, she shows up on SmackDown last night talking her shit. You know, and Raquel snatches the mic from her, and then Jade comes out. So then we get Liv and Raquel against Jade and Jordan Grace. You know what I'm saying? Liv trying to get pushed in, bro.
Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to. So, do you think that maybe they can push Raquel to SmackDown once they break up, and then Liv will stay on Raw, and then Raquel could fight Jade?
It makes sense because as long as Jade is going to be champion or a big focal point of SmackDown, you need big chicks that can fight her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. Chelsea Green ain't beat Jade. You know what I'm saying? Julia ain't beat Jade.
Yeah, or what's her name?
Zelina Vega. Well, Jordan Grace could. She got the
muscles for it. That's true, but at the same time, it's like, you know, how often do you want to see Rey Mysterio beat Brock Lesnar? You know what I mean?
I didn't want to see it once.
You know, so I'm like, now Eddie Guerrero did beat Brock, and we supported that. So you can look.
Hey, Eddie Guerrero Ray beat Batista.
Yeah, that's crazy. Ray beat Batista or Brock Lesnar was always weird to me. Like, dog, no, like, no.
Yeah. So like, if I'm Liv, then obviously I'm staying away from Jade, and it's
for sure. Yeah, Liv ain't beating Jade. Yeah,
it's going to be Stephanie.
You can't sell that to anybody. Like, none of us are going to buy that. Sorry.
But now Dom is back, so you know all of this might.
He's officially not hurt.
He showed up on Raw last week. He didn't fight or anything.
He didn't.
Yeah, but he was rough. I thought he was just. He kind of just looked like, yeah, I'm here.
Dom looked like he just wanted rehab.
I think he just wanted to kiss Liv. That's the only reason he showed up.
Dom looked like he's going through rehab.
Yeah,
Dom does not look good. He don't look like he's a wrestling.
Mustache ain't lined up. It's just. It's me.
Well, coming back from his injury, I hope we don't see a fall off.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Jermaine Cole dropped the album, one of the most anticipated albums in rap history.
The most anticipated album in history.
Did it live up to the hype?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh,
what?
Start us off then.
What?
It did not
start us off then.
And I'm probably the only person in this corner, I guess, because I.
Hey guys, you just learned Jack will not survive the let out.
I just feel like You gave me the Blizzard. On the Blizzard, you gave me wordplay, schemes, entendres.
You know what? Time out. I feel like J. Cole giving you the Blizzard got to be worthy of a pause.
I'm not sure, but since you called for it, I gave it.
I guess I got a beanie on for a reason. But
Jesus, sir.
Anyway, my bad. I just had to get that in there. Go ahead.
I mean, but my thing is, right, he gave us like Lyrical Miracle super raps. And then it was like he was back on the whole, you know, I'm the Grim Reaper. And it was like, okay, like I've never been the guy that cared about him backing out the battle. So let's just start there. So when he said the Grim Reaper thing, I was like, all right, cool. Like you coming out here to show everybody I can rap. I respect that. I can rap. So when I listened to the album was good. It just wasn't great. And my thing was I just wanted a little bit more. I guess I don't really have a better way of saying that. I wanted more. It was the first album or the first disc. Of course, you got the more uppity records and you know more hype records, and it was cool. Second album, more introspective, slowed down, and that's what I didn't expect. I expected the first album to be a young core type thing, and then I expected the second album to be me as the best rapper in the world.
So which disc did you like better?
I think for me, probably disc 2, just because I don't really listen to. I don't use
rap.
Like no, disc 2 is introspective. I like that. I don't really like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I don't like. Yeah, I don't really care about the bops. You know, like I'm not the guy who listens to the gym all the time,
Singles.
and I need. Yeah. So I like the introspective. I like Life Sentence. You know, I love the way he's talking about his wife and stuff. Like, I like those songs. Like I like to hear growth. Drake.
Yo, so I'm gonna go with some of my notes and then we can keep it going. So for me, overall, the album's not. It's a good album. It's a good album. I enjoy it. It's too long, 24 songs, and some of those songs are 2 songs put together. It's way too long, too much music. J. Cole's voice does not have enough diversity. He doesn't have enough diversity of voice inflection to make you want to listen to him rap for 24 songs, right? I think my first note was that there's a classic album in this album. It's just too long to be a classic album, right? I got halfway through it and was like, I really want this to be over really soon. Also, because it's so long, songs that I might have loved on a shorter album, I ended up not liking. Like the Let Out 2-5. Like Let Out is one of my songs that's actually a low light. So low lights, I have Let Out, Bombs in the Ville, Lonely at the Top. The 39 intro is too long. It shouldn't have been 2 songs. It should have been 1 song. Either one could have been it, but it can't be both. You should have made a decision. Villist, it's too monotonous. Like it's on the second disc, it's on the 39 disc, and it's way too monotonous to be like the song that I'm listening to 50 minutes into an album. No. The hooks. He did this thing, and I hope he comes out and explains. I know he does this podcast thing where he explains sort of like some of the thoughts that he makes in the creation of his music. I want to know why he kept doing hooks from old songs. He didn't add anything. He didn't like build on it. It was just placed really obscurely in the middle of a song that could have been a good song. And with all that being said, he raps his behind off the entire album. There's not a song that he don't rap, ribbity rap. He's rapping the entire time. Only You was one I did not like. And then Life Sentence. Again, if Only You and Life Sentence don't happen in the second disc, and I've already been listening to you rap for 70 minutes at this point, I probably would have liked it a lot more. Just my highlights really quick. 2-6, which was the first video, is fire. That song is dope. It's gonna go. Poor Thing is dope. Even though Poor Thing had the Boosie sample in it. No, yeah, it had the Boosie sample in it. I'll set this off. I'll set this. That was in that.
Yeah, but the
Road,
Punk bitch saved that song for sure.
that song is dope. I like that song. Bunch
Dumb
Road Blues.
bitch.
I like that one. Bunch Road Blues, and this is also a recurring theme. And me and 2-5, we talked about this. He does impressions of other rappers on this album way too much. And the songs that I like from him are most like he does. Like so.
I know, but I was gonna say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting through all my points. I'm sorry. Bunch Road Blues, he turns into Kendrick Lamar on the second half. Bunch Road Blues, he turns into Kendrick Lamar. Who the F is you? Who the F is you is Eminem-ish. That second verse is all Eminem flow. I did not like the beat flip because it went from an Eminem song to a Kendrick song. Hated that. The 39 intro, again, should have been the intro for the album, but he should have picked one of them. Do not do both. The fall off is inevitable, is amazing. It's amazing. I love her again. Phenomenal. What if, my last point, now I'm gonna pass it to you 2-5. Yo, why did he have to make a song where Pac and Big apologize to each other? Why did he have to do, like I get it and I agree and I love the song. But why you though?
I think that is one of those. So you talked about him, how he goes on a podcast and talks about things. I'm not cutting you off, by the way, 2-5.
No,
no.
But the what if hey, 2-5, I'm gonna pass it to you. Listen to me.
Listen to me now.
But I just said, but the what if thing is because, and this is another flaw of the album. He said, I have a bunch of music and it has to be put out. He said, I don't want to go back 10 years from now and be like, dang, I really wish I released this. And that is like the biggest issue for me on this album. It could have been 15 songs and we would have loved this album. But because you felt the need to give us 12
songs.
Could have been 12. I'm a 12 to 15 guy. But because 12. He felt the need to, I have to put these songs out, it's watered the product down. But go ahead, 2-5.
All right. So just for the record, right? All Eyes on Me was 27 songs. Life After Death was 24 songs. Streets Disciple was 25, and Blueprint 2 was 25. You know what I'm saying? But the problem with J. Cole's album, hold on. The problem with J. Cole's album.
I was going to say, of those, only one is considered classic.
You know what I'm saying? But the problem with J. Cole's album, because I think all of them are good albums. The problem with J. Cole's album and compared to those is structure and sequencing. You know, the first disc just felt all over the place. You know, like good songs, but just all over the place without a common theme. And of course, cover your ears, Jack. Me being a Wu-Tang guy, you know what I'm saying, listening to albums like Only Built for Cuban Links and how each song led into the next song as if you were listening to a movie, I felt like Cole had the ability to do that since this was a conceptual album. Like, so you have a theme to follow.
Yes.
You know,
could have put together a real story. I agree.
Yeah. But let me share some of y'all. This is some of my original thoughts as I was listening to it the very first time. So my first thought was, it didn't feel authentic. Like it felt like he was just doing things because he was in a studio. Like, hey, I'm a rapper. Let me try this. So my second thought was, this would have been awesome. Not the double disc part, but just the quality of the music. This would have been great if this was a demo. I mean, not a demo, a debut album. It would have been great if it was a debut. If you were trying to
a shorter
establish
debut
yourself.
album. Yes.
Yeah, put yourself on the map. He could have made an Illmatic, if you will. You know what I mean? My next thought was, is this motherfucker doing karaoke? You know what I'm saying? Because it was just a lot going on. It was just a lot going on. Like every song just had so much going on. Like it was like, okay, these are fire bars. Like, who the hell is that singing? Like, oh, it's Future. Like, oh, it's Tim's. Like, hold up, is this a Mobb Deep beat? It was just too much going on that was distracting me, you know, from the great music that he was trying to put out. Then I said, okay, this is not the album that you want if you're trying to leave a mark. You know what I'm saying? And so before I go any further, it's not a bad album. I'm not saying that it's trash. I'm not saying that it's garbage.
Not a bad album.
None of us have said it was bad. So
repeat, it's not a bad album.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I went into, J. Cole could be the next Jay Pharoah. because he was just impersonating everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, J. Cole is a funny dude. I was like, yo, he is literally, he turned into DMX. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a point where I thought he was being Pac. You know, it was just a lot going on. You know what I mean? Like, outside of What If, it was just a lot going on. So,
Yeah,
so
What
you
If
know,
he rapped in Pac's flow and then he rapped in Biggie's flow.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Outside of that, though, I felt like there were songs on the first disc, like where it just felt like the hook was Pac inspired. And then last thing, Jack, I felt like after I listened to this, because I still think Forest Hills is better than this.
It's 100% better.
But this is the problem that I have with J. Cole, and I like to call it Jadakiss syndrome. Your albums never match your talent.
All right, nope. Got to put a break on that one now. All right, got to put a break on that. His albums do match his talent. He's got a 3-piece that everybody just trashes because at the time I think it was just the reception. Like, they didn't like it. They didn't like the no feature.
He's too great of a rap, because we had this conversation with Rez the other day. We think that he's the best rhymer out right now, best rapper, whatever you want to call him. Out of the people that we could consider being best rapper at any point in time, he's the only one that doesn't have a classic.
Forest Hills Drive is a classic.
Forest Hills
I'm
Drive.
not arguing. I'm not
I
arguing.
wouldn't consider it a casket. I think it's a very good album. I think it's a very great.
No,
like,
that's fine, but yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
But
we don't need to get caught up in the minutia.
Yeah. Forest Hills Drive, For Your Eyes Only, and KOD is a great 3-piece run. Like, it's a great trilogy. Even though people don't like to acknowledge it, it's a great trilogy. On top of that, it's a trilogy with no features. Nobody's doing that. There is nobody who's done that. So
this is why I step back in the class.
Okay.
This is why I step back in the class. So I think Cole leans too much on the no features thing. This album needed features.
It did have features. It had 2.
No. It needed more. If you have 24 songs, I need more voices than you impersonating other people.
No, I agree.
Kendrick should have been on this album.
Well, Kendrick and Drake apparently were on the album, and then he took them off because of the beef. Apparently,
right. Well, Kendrick should have been on this album. The songs that were Kendrick,
he should have did a real song with. He should have did a real
Kendrick
song
on the
with
song. Future should have been actually on a real song. And that was another note that I had. Future plus Tim's is becoming a cheat code. That song with that, it's becoming a cheat code. I've heard it 2 times and it's worked both times. I may need a Future in Tim's album. That may be a thing that I need in the future. And I may actually listen to it. He's not gonna bar nobody
early in the
but
morning,
it's be really good music. But I think because of the length of the album, think about the ones that the ones that you mentioned earlier, right? The double discs. There were mad features on those albums. Even Street Disciple, mad features on that album.
Jay-Z had MOP on there.
Blueprint 2 had mad features. All Eyes on Me, mad features. Life
After Death.
Life After Death, mad features. You need
Scorpion.
features when you have
Mad
that
features.
much. Which one?
Scorpion, bad features.
Well, I was talking about double. It is.
We're talking
Yeah.
It is a double disc.
It is a double
We're
disc,
talking about
yeah.
good double disc albums then.
Hey, Scorpion's good. That's the last
It's
Drake
not-
album I like.
It's not on the level of the ones we were talking about.
No, it's not on. No, it's not on.
That's,
Yeah.
and that's, yeah, it's not there. I told you that's not on my. It's not. Anyway, but no, it needed more features. He could have brought his Dreamville crew in there. He could. JID just dropped an album. Also, you mentioned this. You mentioned the singing earlier. I don't hate singing Cole. I wish that it would have been an album of singing Cole. If you're gonna do a double disc, there's another way to sequence it. Give us an album of singing Cole, like Love Box Speaker Below, the Love Below Speaker Box style. Give us a singing Cole album. Give us a rapping Cole album. If you want to do that, split us up.
Anyway, so Jack,
Rez
the
second disc is R&B.
Rez gave us his high
Highlights and
points.
lowlights.
Yeah, and low lights. What you got?
Well,
And then
my
we'll
low
wrap
lights,
this up.
my low lights were just I just wish that he would have just gave us bars than cut the track list. I hate long albums, period. Whether your name is Chris Brown, whether you're Drake.
I still have not listened to Indigo all the way through, and I won't.
I hate anything. I think that we need to get back to making 15-song albums. The problem is everything's on a DSP, so they want these songs to get traction so you can get more streams, so you can get more money, and it's annoying. Like, just give us a good solid project of 12 to 15 tracks, man. Like, that's all you need. that's my look.
So for me, I disagree with Rez a little bit. I wasn't a big fan of 2-6. Safety is a really good song, but then I felt like it was Illmatic. Like, I was like, because when I first heard it, it sounded just like Nas. Like, even his voice sounded just like Nas.
I'm gonna share my notes so you can see it. So I want you to see. Now keep going. We have not talked about this, but okay. I want you to see the notes that I have about this. Go ahead.
Okay, so Poor Thing, Buntsboro Blues, Who the F Is You, obviously The Let Out. I did like Lonely at the top. The 39 intro I liked a lot. And then after that, it gets kind of until I Love Her Again. And then I wasn't a fan of Quick Stop. A lot of people do like that song, but I wasn't a fan of that song.
So I'm going to take you down to where I said man, right? So man, I had Safety, sounds like a Nas Lupe impression. Run a Train, Nas Lupe impression. Drum and Bass, Nas Lupe impression. And I love Nas and Lupe, but I don't need 3 Nas and Lupe songs from you, J. Cole. Old Dog. See the first 3. And then Man Up Above. When this man said, don't be confused by the rocks that I got, I wanted to throw my phone out the window. Like, 25, when you said that.
Yeah, I brought it up yesterday.
You brought it up. I was like, there's no way he does that. And then I got to it and I was like, why are we doing this? But then I had this category that was like, if it was on a shorter album, like anything in the mid category, if it was on a shorter album and they pulled those top 6 songs that I have my highlights,
right,
it's a much better album. Like it could fit if you pick 1 or 2 of them. You can't have 4 songs where you rap exactly like somebody else. Like from the beat style, and that's the other thing. And I want to say, he did all the production on this album, right? He did all the production on this album, though, right?
Yeah.
I like him and him. He actually makes good beats.
Yeah, Alchemist, like that Mobb Deep, that drop of Gem flip was awesome.
I like Old Dog.
I felt like the song didn't match. match.
Old Dog was actually one of my favorites on the album.
Old Dog would have worked if it was a shorter album, but again, Old Dog is on the second. It's on the second disc. So like when if you listen to it straight through, and this is the problem, right? Because and I think this is also like derivative of the times we live in, right? So we live in a time where people don't listen to albums. Like I got my guy Patron right here. Patron, do you listen to whole albums?
It can't be too long.
Oh, sorry. Let me turn your mic on. Go ahead.
It just can't be like too long. Like I agree with like the 15 songs on the album. But there's certain ones, I guess. Like for this one, for J. Cole, it was really just too long for me. Like I still haven't finished the whole album. I got to like this 39 and I stopped right now. Because I just like it's just too long for me.
See, so and that's my point. So in this generation, they don't listen to whole albums, right? They don't listen to whole albums. They listen to parts of albums, or they listen to songs, right? Because like you can ask a kid, hey, that song that you listen to all the time, what artist is that? And they'll be like, oh, I think it's da 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 da. What album is it on? They don't know. And I think Cole made an album that is not designed to be listened to by like in entirety. He wants you to listen to it in parts. And I think by doing that, he actually hurt himself in what he was trying to do.
10,000% agree.
At
39, the only reason that I was good was because I was listening to it at work. So on the way to work, I was on disc 29 and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then I got a break. I got like an hour, 2 hour break. And then I was like, oh, well, let me get back to the Cole album. So when I got the disc 39, I was just like, all right, bet. Like, all right, cool. This is a pretty good thing. And then when I had to go back for the re-listen, I was like, yeah, nah. I'm not listening to all this
the way through. Right. It's
I
so
listened to
much
the whole
more.
thing this morning
minutes.
too. I listened
It's
to the
an
whole
hour
thing
and
this
40
morning.
minutes to listen to the whole album.
Hey, his what song was it? Oh, I can't remember what song it is off the top of my head right now. But when he said the whole like Deuteronomy, all y'all honor me, and he went on and then hit the numerology bar. That's when I was like, this is the J. Cole that I need. You know what I'm saying? I don't need, you know what I'm saying, after dark jazz J. Cole.
You didn't want y'all gonna respect the mulatto J. Cole?
Nah, I didn't need that. Oh, that was the other line that we talked about where he said the hardest rapper out got a white mom.
I ain't gonna lie,
Like,
bro.
all right.
I gotta say this real quick, Jack. I gotta say this real quick. So of course, you know, being married to an Anglo, you know what I mean? And when J. Cole said too black, my heart is too black like white flight. You know, I had to like give a 5-minute thesis on what white flight was to her, so that was hilarious.
Would you like to explain it to the world?
No. No, because we need to move on. We already
2 hours into the pod.
Yeah.
Before we move on, what was your favorite song? What was your name again? What was the name?
Oh, Patron.
So far, let me just pull it up for you so I can say it.
What's Javian's favorite song?
What's your favorite song, Javian?
The Apple.
6-7. That's right, Javian.
Honestly, I would go with Legacy for right now.
Oh, see, Legacy was on I would have loved it on a shorter album. So.
But I listened to Legacy like when I went to walk my dog, so it was separate from everything else. So that's probably why I liked it the most right now.
It matters. Yeah. That stuff matters, man.
It does. You know what I'm saying? But what matters is legacy. I'm glad you brought that up. Names. Okay. Carrying on tradition and heritage. So, Jack, share your misogynistic view on why women should take their husband's last name.
Oh, you really want that? Hold on. Let me close my door. Javian just left Apple.
Yeah, he wants to say it's because of Javian. I think it's because the person that would hear it.
So of course this topic came from the Joe Budden podcast.
Joe Budden podcast.
Where Mark Lamont Hill went on his little Mark Lamont Hill rant about how his kids are hyphenated and they share.
Mark Lamont Hill's a hoe. Keep going.
All right. How his kids share, you know, his mom or his wife's and his last name, and they hyphenated them because, quote, they belong to both of us. So, all right, Jack.
Okay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, of course. Actually, you know what? In a homosexual relationship, who would take the last name? Because according to Joe Budden, as long as you got a dick, you're supposed to. Anyway, so the thing that I hate about this whole last name thing that we're getting into now is it's just disrespectful, bro. At the end of the day, the man is the head of the household, and I'm tired of the world pretending like we're all equal planes and all this other stuff. No, the man is the head of the household. So when you get married, the reason that we're supposed to give our last name to our wives is because she is leaving her father's house to come to her husband's house to start a new lineage. And that lineage gets the everything that's supposed to mark your lineage is your name. That is what you have as a man. You have your name. So that is why your wife leaves her father and comes to you. And then your children that you bear have your name, and that is to continue your lineage. That is the simplest way and reason why we do the last name thing. What you will get, though, is that it's a patriarchal thing, which it is, but, you know, patriarchy is a bad thing, so whatever. But it's to determine that women are your property and they can't do anything without your say so. So you put your name on them so that they have some type of status because of the name, and it's all and they blend it in to like make it sound like it's disrespectful, and it's stupid. And now you got weak ass men like Mark Lamont Hill who want to sit up here and be like, "Oh, we hyphenated our kids' names. Is your wife's name hyphenated? No." But we still hyphenated their names because I want to respectfully make sure that her father's name lives on as well.
Well, his wife kept her last name.
Like, what are you talking about? That don't even make sense.
So for me, we've talked about this, right? And you know, as we were talking earlier, you know, about the idea like the Red Pill podcast kind of thing. There are certain things that I guess fall under what people would consider the patriarchy that I think are good for society, right? I think it's good for society that men defer to women in certain situations, that men take care of women in certain situations, that women take care of men in certain situations. I don't think or see that as a negative thing or a bad thing that we should be getting away from. I like the idea, and I like the idea of I like the idea of going to my wife's father, my girlfriend's father, and asking for her hand in marriage, because that was the man that took care of her as she grew up, and I'm assuming responsibility for this person to have and to hold, for better for worse, from this day forward till death do us part. That is the oath that I'm making to her. I'm going to become the person that, in effect, assumes the role that her father once held in her life by marrying her. In doing that, she takes my name because I'm assuming that responsibility. I don't see that as a bad thing. I understand that there are people who do. I don't understand those people, and I don't think that those people are invested in traditional family, if you will. And I understand that not everybody agrees with traditional family, but in that case, to each his or her own. I'm not gonna be married to somebody that's dashing into like if you're not buying into that, I can't marry you. I'm sorry. If Toya would have told me, listen, unless it was something like I'm the last person in my family, like, and I want to maintain, like, there's no boys to maintain the family name. Like, I want to make sure the family name stays alive. That's cool. But my kids are not going to have your family's last name. That's not going to be a thing. They're my kids. I signed the birth certificate. I'm the pappy, and I'm gonna do all the things that a father's supposed to do. Those are my kids. They will have my last name. There will be no dashing.
Even in that situation, if she didn't want to, I don't want to do it because of my dad's name or whatever, you're still taking my name because our kids aren't getting yours. Oh, JB.
So I live by a very simple code: live and let live. Each relationship is different. Yeah, each relationship is different. It's not my, it's not my responsibility to decide for you what works best for you.
Correct.
Now, as a guy who got proposed to by a girl, by a woman, what I'm saying, and I might have a little bit different view on the traditional thing. I do believe that your wife should take your last name, and I don't want to repeat it, but a lot of the stuff that Red said, a lot of the stuff that Jack said, I think they're both correct on this, so I'm not going to repeat ad nauseum what they said. But I think that what we're getting into is everybody wants to, well, not everybody. A lot of people want to be edgy and buck tradition because they want to leave their mark, maybe, or they want to be leaders, maybe. So we have conversations like this because of the way women were treated in yesteryear. So women were property at one point. They couldn't get a bank account or a house without a husband.
Absolutely.
That was many, 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 many moons ago.
And it was wrong.
And as a white man,
it was a time.
And as a white man would say about slavery, I never owned a person. You know what I'm saying? So
get over it.
I don't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? So would it be a deal breaker for me if a woman didn't want to take my last name? That's a tough one. I think that I could put up with the hyphen maybe, but in Mark Lamont Hill's situation where the wife didn't take his name at all, Absolutely not. That just, to me, it defeats the whole purpose, or not the whole purpose, but one of the tenets that makes marriage, because you're putting a trust into me, not necessarily to be the provider per se, but to be the protector, because we want to be, we want to be non-traditional until it's time to be traditional. The same people that don't want to be traditional still wants the perks that come with tradition.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So from that standpoint, without sounding too red pillish, play your role.
I just,
because like God if you believe in religion and all that stuff, God created man and woman for a purpose. You know what I mean? If you want to go against that purpose, that's up to you. But at least do something better than podcast hot takes for your reason why you want to go against tradition.
For sure.
I did. Dog, it just it just makes zero sense to me, man. Like, what are we doing? Like, how far are we going to overcorrect all this nonsense from yesteryear? Like you said, we acknowledge that obviously there was a time where women had it rough. There was a time where everybody in society had it rough at some point. Oh well. Like, how are we gonna?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Women still have it rough, but you know what I mean. But don't look for problems where there are none. Like, go focus on the things that actually are problems.
Yes, but it's just like, dang, bro. Like, we gotta ruin marriage too. Like, the whole point is to.
What if that's the goal?
It probably is the goal, but we can use other things to say that was a goal. So I wouldn't even touch that. But
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, so I think about my daughter, right? Just morning, my wife and my daughter were in the living room watching a movie, and I was getting ready for the pod, and I was like, babe, can you make me some eggs? And my daughter looked at her weird, and I was like, Isis doesn't like when you ask me to cook stuff for you, and I'm like, but Isis loves it when I put you on a pedestal and take you on date nights unplanned, and I shower you with gifts, and
it goes back to what I was saying earlier.
I go out of my way to make sure that you feel special and appreciated. Like, these are the things that I do, and I don't do it, with an expectation that she's going to do anything in return, but just understand that marriage is give and take, right? And I think there's certain things that it's okay to value. To your point, 2-5.
No,
but in each relationship, that's different for different people. So I never try to look down. Like, if you want to marry somebody, don't want to take your last name, cool. But I couldn't do it. I just would. It's not for me. I give too much in my marriage for me to say, oh, well, you can just keep whatever last name you want, name our kids whatever you want, and I'm gonna come ride along. I'm not.
No, what burns me up is when Lindsay and I are places like a cookout, for example, and because she got invited to the cookout. If she makes my plate, damn near all the women there say something to the effect of, what's wrong with him? Or like, you know what I mean? Like what's wrong with his hands? Why can't he make his own plate? Bitch, because I don't want to. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it is okay to do something nice for your man too. That's why. To Rez's point. I try to do a lot of things. I try to be romantic. I try to do those things. It's okay for you to reciprocate. It does not make you a slave or my property because you put macaroni on my plate.
How about
now? If you started scrubbing the floor, and then you got up and made my plate, then there's probably a problem with that.
Yeah, like, yo, get up from mopping the floor and make my
like, hey, yo, you went over that spot 4 times. I need my chicken.
Why do we have to pretend that we can't say it's your job to do such and such? Like, why is it?
I'm not going to say that.
I'm not her job.
You don't have to say it, but I will.
Job.
It is your job, because I have a job. You have a job. My job is to protect you. Your job is to nurture me. There is a job being done. It is okay for me to say my wife will serve me food, because at the end of the day, I provide the groceries. Like, this is metaphor. I mean, it's a metaphorical.
I've never told Lindsay to make my plate. That's just something she does.
I have never done it either.
But most women that I've been with in my life have made my plate, and I've never said, When we go places, you will make my plate.
Right.
The same way that I opened the door for Lindsay to get in the car.
Right. It's a
She
respect
opens
thing.
up the other door.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And it doesn't matter if you label it your job or you label it as a role or you label it as tradition or as a habit, whatever you want to call it.
I tell you what, y'all chicks like this ain't going to survive the let out.
But words do have meaning, so I just want to make sure, because I don't want to be on the pod not saying like, again, silence is compliance, and I want to make sure that I do say like, okay, so what I'll say is this. No. So one, I don't disagree because I do like when we go places. Toya normally makes my plate, like that's normally a thing, right? But like you said, it's what we've decided within the confines of our marriage that we would do for each other. Like she makes my plate when we go out to eat. I open doors for her. Like my wife and my kids don't. My wife and my daughters, they don't open doors when they with me. That's not a thing that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain things that we do, and it's okay within the confines of our relationship.
You don't cut the grass. You don't take the trash out.
Yeah, no, don't touch don't touch the lawnmower. Like that's not a thing that I'm with. I'm not with you touching the lawnmower. I'm not with like taking the trash out. My wife and my daughters, they don't take the trash out. The boys in my house take the trash out.
There's a rule in my house that women do not touch the trash. Like that is
right.
So like
I bet you y'all ain't got a problem with that though.
Right. So I just said that to say like that doesn't mean it's her quote unquote job, because that's the thing. Like people will get caught up in the way that message was delivered and not recognize that what you're saying is in my house we have certain levels of expectation for one another that we fulfill and we're happy with and we're fine and nobody's held against their will, nobody's being mistreated, nobody's being made into a sub.
The only question I got for these people is why are you like this?
Yeah, but my thing is, you got to get it now.
Dang! Oh man,
why are you like this?
Sorry, bro, I wasn't on point.
But my thing is this, right? I said that on purpose.
I'm a red-blooded man.
That's that actually is like so perfect for this podcast.
That's why.
But the reason that I say it like that is because I'm just tired of us babysitting stupidity. If you can't take context and apply it, if you can't sit up here and try to get some comprehension going with words, I don't need to coddle you and your stupid brain. If you hear me say something and you don't want to listen to the full sentence or you don't want to listen to the whole conversation, that is not my problem. And I'm not gonna.
I just don't know why people don't.
It's annoying.
I just don't know why people purposely don't want to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, why'd you make his plate? Why'd you because it's nice.
His hands work is an insane thing to say to somebody who's wife while your fat single ass is sitting over there eating a fucking 3 plates of potato salad, and you mad because my wife brought me something.
And they'll be the same ones talking about, 2-5 bought you that dress for the date. That's why she gets my plate. Damn it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway,
my wife
what is 2-5?
So this is going to be short and simple because we got time, constraints right here. So we're going to do this real quick. I hate you some bitches at the drive-thru that every time I order something, you're constantly asking me, is that all? I will tell you when it's all. Can I have a double cheeseburger meal? Anything else? Yes, motherfucker, actually. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I would actually like a Coke on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Anything else? Yes. My kids would like a 10-piece chicken nugget. Will that be everything? No. I want a milkshake too. You know what I'm saying? Like, how about I just keep ordering stuff until you shut the fuck up and let me get through my order? It annoys me, especially like I get it, right? You've been there for 8 to 10 hours. You might be tired and all that kind of stuff, but the customer service can't slip. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I go to Starbucks and you hear me talking to somebody else in the car. You hear me say, hey, y'all want anything? And then I sit here and go, hey, can I get a venti cinnamon dulce? Will that be everything? No, my wife wants something too.
That's hysterical. First of all,
why don't people want to be nice? Props. Why are you like this?
Hey, look.
Yo.
Well, one thing I will say.
Another classic.
From working in fast food, you 10,000% can hear somebody talking to their wife, their kids.
Yes.
You hear the entire conversation.
You hear Desmond say, I want a chocolate milk.
You can hear everything. And considering that I just started working at Burger King again, I know you can hear everything. So, You know what I mean? Like
I'm not even asking for it my way. Just shut up for a second.
Like, no.
I'll tell you how I want it.
I don't mind I don't mind
That's
them
crazy.
if you give them a pause. I don't mind them saying anything else. I do have a problem with them saying anything else when you complete your order.
It's like literally right away. It's like, can I have a double cheeseburger meal?
But if I say
medium with a
anything
Coke,
else?
anything else? Like, damn.
Yeah, that's true. But if I say I like a number one with a Coke and a kid's meal, that'll be all. And they say, "Well, would you like anything else?" That pisses me off.
That is a Starbucks classic right there.
Because I just said that'll be all.
Like, yeah, you know what? I want to put more money in your like owner's pocket. Sure. Like, let me order something else that's $5. You know what I'm saying?
Shout
Like,
out
why
to the
not?
roosters out there. We know y'all are hardworking individuals who are just trying to make ends meet.
Yeah. What are they? What we call them during COVID? Essential. Y'all are essential workers.
Yeah, essential workers. We appreciate
Y'all
it.
are, and
I actually am in a.
I appreciate y'all. I just
very
want you to appreciate me. You know what I'm saying? So, what you got for us this week, Jack?
The movie that I have for this week is the most nominated Oscar film of all time. It has the most Oscars ever with 16. It stars my boy Michael B. Jordan. It's got Delroy. It's got I can't remember her name right now.
Haley Stanfield.
Haley Steinfeld, thank you.
Mrs. Josh Allen.
Nah, he's Mr. Haley Steinfeld. No.
She did not take his last name.
He's Mr. Hawkeye.
Oh, sorry. That's the caveat to the last name thing. If you are a famous person and like your entire brand is built around your name, I understand you're not taking somebody's last name.
Yeah, like Melissa Ford shouldn't change her name.
Well, Melissa Ford would never
saying.
get married because she hates the patriarchy and thinks that she's
Carrie,
got that.
Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington didn't have to take Nnamdi Asomugha's last name because
that's and they do
Kerry
take it in real
Washington
life.
Asomugha would be a weird.
It's probably
last
because she
name.
couldn't say it.
Yeah, no, they do. They take their names though. A lot of them do. They just don't change it on Hollywood production. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm just
And
saying.
then you
Like,
have
that
Yeah,
makes
like
sense.
Julia Roberts ain't taking nobody's name. Sandra Bullock ain't taking nobody's name.
But Jada Pinkett Smith does because my husband is Will Smith and I need that name to caveat.
But that's the upgrade of the name though. That's not. Yeah. Like
Okay.
Beyonce.
Or Kim Kardashian West.
Beyonce Knowles Carter. That made sense.
All three of those girls, they married up.
Yes. So, but go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. You.
Sinners. Please go
Sinners.
see Sinners. It's the most nominated film of all time. We're seeing if they're going to color purple us or will we actually get some dubs from the Oscars. If you don't know, The Color Purple was nominated for 8 Oscars, and that year they lost every single category. So a lot of people are worried that Sinners, this black film, an original film, is going to get color purpled, where they got all these nominations just to say they were nominated, and then the Academy doesn't respect them in anything. So the film is about Michael B. Jordan and his brother, Michael B. Jordan, and they come back from Chicago, go down to the South, open up a club. It's going to be the biggest club of the night. And in the middle of the dance, vampires come out of nowhere. Boom. Let fun ensue. Also, they got a little cousin in there who sings his ass off and got great music. It's a historical...
Great singer.
Historical representation is all in there for black people, Asians. There's no white in there, but black and Asian.
Yes, there is.
If you want.
The KKK.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
There's European culture in there.
Yeah.
There's no white American.
Irish. Yeah, Irish. Yeah.
European culture is all over it though.
The American
only-
culture is the KKK.
Why don't nobody ever tell them go back to Europe?
Because Europeans don't want them.
There's Native Americans as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Native Americans are in there.
Shout out
The
to
only
Patron.
white people, the only white Americans that are in there are all racist, and they all die. So that's another.
Why they gonna get color purple.
And that's why we think we're gonna get color
Actually,
purple.
so I'm actually thinking, Jack, to that point, like because of where we are in the political climate, there's no way, there's no world in which they get shot out. Now the question is, do they get the major awards? Because they're probably going to get costume
Well,
design.
Ludwig's getting his.
They're going to get soundtrack. They're going to get like score probably, right? So that kind of stuff they're going to get. The question is, do they get best actor? Do they get best supporting actor? Do they get picture of the year? Best picture. So
picture, best
stuff
director,
like
best actor,
best director.
best
Those are the ones to watch.
we really care about.
And honestly, I think if they get one of those four, I'm cool.
So
Yes.
so how many?
I need Michael B. Jordan, Delroy, or oh my God,
Director.
Haley Steinfeld.
Ryan Coogler. I need
Ryan Coogler, yeah.
Michael B. Jordan or Delroy to walk away with an award. I need one
How
of them
many?
to get.
How many? How many Oscars that they would win would lead you to believe they were color purple, or is it just category dependent, like you were saying?
It's those four.
It's those four. I need a
Okay.
best actor, best supporting, best picture, best director. I need one of those
One
four.
of those four, yeah.
To matter. If it's
Okay.
not, because costume design.
So what if they win 8? What if they win 8 but not one of them?
It's got to be one of those four.
Dog, it'll
In
be
fact,
like
if they only win, like I'll say, so if they do 8 and they like because they're up for 18, they're for 18,
16.
they're for 16. So if they get 8, which is half, like that's
why
a really good night.
That's why I used that number. Yeah.
If they get 8 and they don't get none of those 4, it's not the biggest slap in the face. But if they get one of those 4 and that's all they get, I'm cool.
Okay.
If they win
Okay,
one of
look.
16, but it's one of those 3, I'm cool.
Okay.
It is. Hold on. Here we go. So if they got best picture, best actor, best actress, outstanding performance, which
Sounds like best actor.
yeah, exactly. But so look, best production design, don't care about that. Best costume design, don't care about that. Like, best cinematography, Xavier, I care about that, but nobody cares about that award. You know what I mean? Outside of cinephiles, so it's got to be supporting actor, actress, best actor, best director, best picture. It has to be one of those. It has to be one of the big ones.
Did you just say cinephiles?
Movie lovers,
That's what y'all are
like
called?
film lovers.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Wow, because it says file at the end. That's crazy.
Yes, it makes me
Certified
think of
lover
our
boy,
president.
certified
It makes me think of our
cinephile.
president who is out here sharing apes, as the Obamas in the role of apes.
Can I get a shirt and like just show you? No, I won't do it.
A shirt of what?
Nothing. Anyway, Trump has officially taken
He jumped the shark.
he's officially jumped off the ledge. Like at this point, I can no longer jokingly be like, "That's my guy." Like now, you call it people monkeys. If he would have put Biden on a chimp and then Obama on a gorilla, I would still be able to have a little leeway. Like, nah, he did, but you chose Barack and his wife. You didn't choose the dude that beat you. Like, at this point, like, I have to fold. I have to put my cards down. I got to get up from the table and be like, damn, dog, there it is. Like,
So so people have been trying to defend it by giving the context of what the whole video was, which was Trump being the king of the jungle. I believe Kamala was a turtle, and things among that nature to show his dominance, if you will. Fine. But anything but a damn ape. And I've seen people say things like, well, would you have cared if Biden or, someone, Hillary Clinton or whoever, were the apes? And you know what? Honestly, probably not. You know why? Because there's no history of white people being demeaned in that way. Now, Donald Trump is very stupid. But even he has to know that that's a thing that has been going on forever. Yeah. You know, like he has to acknowledge that those are things that have been going on forever. So you can't wiggle your way out and be like, I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like if I called somebody a name that they don't like to be called and I never met this person before, like if I was just like, man, you're a jackass, man. And somebody got offended by that, I got to apologize because I didn't know that about them. I didn't know that word would make them have that reaction. You knew what the blowback was going to be. And for the people that are trying to use the whole video as context, that would work if he posted the whole video. The whole video wasn't what was posted. It was a retweet or whatever, Truth Social, whatever they do over there. It was a retweet or repost of that image. So you lose the contextual argument. Like nobody cares at that point what the video was about because he didn't care what the video was about enough to at least have plausible deniability because he's been empowered and he doesn't even need plausible deniability anymore.
He's the president of the United States. He is the president of the United States. I'm not even going to talk about that situation because I think y'all have covered that. The couple things I do want to sort of correct.
Respectfully, this is your bag. Please get in it. Thank you.
He didn't make the video. He reshared a video that was already made, right? So as the president of the United States, right? As the president of the United States, you have to understand that you represent all the people of the nation. And this is the problem with what people are doing right now. There's a lot of reactions that are happening to this right now that are, oh, he's not my president. I want you to understand that when you say he's not my president, you absolve him of the responsibility to also representing you in a way that you would want to be represented. When you say he's not my president, he's absolutely your president. And because he's your president, he has a responsibility to you and to all American citizens, whether or not they voted for him. He's not the president. When you get elected president of the United States, you don't get to pick and choose the people with whom you represent. You don't get to pick and choose with whom you don't want to offend. You have to uphold this whole thing that's the American ideal. And the more we as a country fall into this idea that because I didn't vote for him, he doesn't represent me, is the reason why we continue to fall behind. Because we think, I didn't vote for this person, so now they don't represent me, which means I'm not going to hold them accountable when they do something that's extremely wrong. We have to understand that what he did was wrong. And if he doesn't have enough common sense, he doesn't have enough wherewithal in his brain to recognize that depicting people as monkeys in the United States of America with the history that we have, the history that you're trying to erase so our kids can't learn, is a bad thing, then he needs to be impeached and deposed as the president of the United States, period, bar none. That is the only answer to this. Because it's not just this, it's everything in cumulative effect. It's the fact that they are trying to take DEI out of schools. They don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is the fact that he has a completely white staffers group. It's in fact like the fact that Tim freaking Scott came out and said that this was racist. South Carolina's own. Like, that's crazy. Like, do y'all understand the bootlicking that Tim Scott has done over the years? And even he is like, this is a bridge too far. But I also want to say this. When we go back, and I posted about this on my social media yesterday, if we go back in time, in every situation where there were racial disparities, when there were injustices done, there were always people, even people of that race, that justified it and did nothing and made it sound like it was okay. When it was slavery, that's just the way business is done. This is good for the economy, right? When it was the Japanese people getting rallied up and put into internment camps because they were afraid that Japanese people were gonna infiltrate the U.S. government, they made excuses for that because we needed to be safe. When it was Jim Crow, separate but equal, it's okay. When it's women's rights, women don't need to get equal pay. They don't need jobs. They can sit in a home and cook food and be barefoot and pregnant. When it was when it was girls, when it was Ruby Bridges going into a school, there were literally Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine. There were people that literally stood outside the school and fought, literally had to have the National Guard come out and escort these young people into school so they can get an education. And in those times, there were still people that stood side by side and said, oh, it's okay because it maintains the status quo and things are better this way. What we're seeing with Donald Trump right now is not new. The question is, what are you gonna do in 20 years when they ask the question, what did you do when that happened? Where did you stand? Because I can promise you this, there are still people that lived when Ruby Bridges was let into that school that stood against that. And none of them will admit that they fought against that little girl going into that school. There are people, Jerry Jones, we see you, who stood outside of that Little Rock Central High School and tried to stop those 9 black kids from getting into that high school. And none of them wanted to admit. They literally had to find a video, a picture with Jerry Jones blatantly plastered in the photo for him to even speak up about the fact that he was out there fighting against that. Japanese internment camps. There's nobody left from slavery, thank God. Where will you be in 20 years? And will you be a liar? Because a lot of you will be. You're muted.
Hey, there ain't nothing to follow that up with. You know what I'm saying? No, I was going to say, Jack, take us out of here, but looks like we're having some technical difficulties right now.
My outro again?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Listen
DJ
up,
Clue.
Our pod is over. We just podded for 2 hours and 16 minutes. You either got something out of it or you did not. That is a you problem, not a us problem. Check yourself, check your mindset, check your mentality. We are 3 guys with diverse opinions. We don't agree on everything, but one thing we know is we love, respect, and appreciate each other. So when you hear us yelling at each other on these podcast mics, know that it's from a place of love and respect. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that you love and you respect. And if you don't, change your circle. Make sure you follow us on all the social media. Follow us on all the social media, Instagram, TikTok. That's all we got right now.
And the only thing red about me is my blood.
That's right.
He's a red-blooded
man.
I'm a red-blooded man.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you check us out next week. Jack, what you got for him?
Hey, I mean, you did the outro. I didn't hear most of it because my equipment is being whatever. But I mean, hey, dog, I'm working at HEB. I'm getting my money right. I got a part-time job at Burger King. Like, the money gonna get up, dog, and then I'm gonna get me something new. So then, we ain't gonna have these problems no more. You already know, man. We appreciate y'all. Pretty sure he just said everything he needed to. So
you rule.
Ooh, have it your way. This is a warning shot. Ah.
Say
Four
less.
letters, one word.
Say less.
Say more.
Yeet. All right, y'all. Say less. Say more.
more. All right, say bye.
Bye.